drip, dripping like syrup. You're the reason why I get so shaken up. When we say goodbye, there's only one thought that flashed through my mind. You will always be the shiny apple of my
My favorite family trips involve skiing. We always believe that a family that skis together stays together. I remember our trips to Jackson Hole, where we skied Corbett's Holebacks. Also Ryan skiing the tram when he's 4 and he's beating people down the hill. I also liked our trips to Grand Targhee, Whistler, all of our family time that we spent at the Coca-Cola Cups, the Utah Winter Games, and the NASCAR National Ski Races. But most of my cherished memories come from the time that we spent on the chairlifts talking and the time that we spent together on the slopes, 7 skiing.
For my place, I chose Star Valley, Wyoming. I always liked going there when I was young to go on horseback rides and go river rafting and going into Jackson to eat at Bubba's. And then when I got older, I had a great time taking my dates there while I was at Utah State and going to jump off the rock at Phillips Lake or visiting Jenny Lake and climbing the other Tetons there.
So some of my favorite moments growing up were when we went boating. I loved our vacations to Flaming Gorge, and we got to search for crawdads and go fishing and climb along the rocks and camp, even though we still had flushing toilets, so that was a plus. I do remember one time though I was using one of the restrooms at Flaming Gorge and a snake came in the door and was blocking my way out, so I couldn't get out. So there was always some sort of adventure that we did, and it also got me to get out of my comfort zone as, you know, a Coombs family member. I remember everybody jumping off the big rock, and I was so scared to do it, and then finally, right as we were about to leave, I finally got enough courage and jumped off the rock, and luckily Dad was able to snap a picture of that moment. But we had so much fun with that big boat that we had, where we could all dangle our feet off the edge and be able to tube behind on the ocean waves. And Mom was right. She always told us that if we could learn to ski behind that boat, then we could ski behind any other boat. I remember skiing with a mutual group and behind a little ski boat for the first time and being like, well, there's not a big wave to jump over. It's not even as fun. But now we have so many fun memories that we are continuing to make with our kids as we go down to Lake Powell and go boating together and spend time together with their cousins, just as we did boating with our cousins growing up. So I think on the water are some of my favorite moments.
We would always go down to Ryan's soccer games in Las Vegas, Nevada, during the turkey shoot. And you can never beat the delicious meals at the buffets, you know, Caesar's Palace, and as well as the MGM. Just a few stories, I guess. The first story is waiting in line at Caesar's Palace. I remember standing in line for almost 30 minutes with my grandpa Harley, and we waited so long that he actually fainted and almost fell to the floor. Luckily somebody grabbed him, and my mom was able to get him some orange juice, and he was able to recover quickly, and we had a nice meal. I enjoyed my Caesar salad. I guess that's more of a story about my mom in Las Vegas. Let me share a story about my dad. This would have been probably when I was about 13 or 14. We were standing in line at the MGM and buffet, and I'd asked him if I could hit one of, play one of the slot machines, and he was trying to teach me, or he did teach me a lesson about gambling. He said, "Chad, you don't gamble." He's like, "Let me show you why." And so we walked over to a slot machine, and he put 1 quarter in, and he let me pull down on the lever, and I pulled the lever, and we got 777. And we actually ended up with like 500 quarters, and I noticed how do we put 4 coins in, we would have won a car. So, and I guess I just want to talk about siblings down in Las Vegas. Favorite memories would include all of the rides, Buffalo Bills roller coaster, Mystere, going to Mystere and watching them do their show, and David Copperfield. And then the last one would probably be going to the Stratosphere in Las Vegas and all of us getting together and doing the big shot. So that was a lot of fun. Great memories, and hope to develop more.
All aboard! as Carol, Mom's former boss, gets on the train with 2 huge suitcases. I'm going to talk about the Europe trips. They were some of my favorite memories. I remember it was my 12th birthday. I got this cool German game, and we got to go skiing at the Matterhorn. And while we're there getting our rentals, the man says to Keith, he says, "You wait." So Keith's waiting, and he repeats himself. He says, "You wait." And all of a sudden, this Frenchman comes from the back of the store, and he's like, "You Americans come to our country wanting us to speak your language. He's asking for your weight." And then we went skiing, and on the first run of the day, blue skies, I make a turn, and next thing I know, my ski snaps in half, and I'm running down the hill on my face. Luckily, Dad was able to pick me up, put my boots on his skis. I didn't have any bindings, but we got down the mountain. Then we all remember the trip where we picked up Keith from his mission. We're excited and we're giving hugs to him while thieves break into our van and take a few small things. And because I was small at that time, they actually grabbed my whole suitcase. So I didn't have any clothes except for what was on my back. But I still question to this day why we had to go to the flea market and why I had to get used bikini-style underwear. I know that I looked ridiculous because all the French artists wanted to paint a picture of me, because here I was with these African pants and a nice Muslim hat to top it off, and some bright yellow shoes. So anyways, Europe was probably some of my favorite memories.
If it weren't for love, there'd be no smile on my face. If it weren't for love, this little heart of mine wouldn't race. If it weren't for love, there'd be no size any place. Oh, this world would be a sightless place if it weren't for love. And if it weren't for love, I'd have no fun embrace. If it weren't for love, these lips of mine would be a waste. If it weren't for love, my empty life would be a disgrace. Oh, my life would be an empty place if it weren't for love.